So we invented this format, the executive update format, to help executives among our members to really get on top of quickly things that are important that they should be aware of. And the problem with all of that is that things that are important and around the corner are talked about a lot and thought about a lot and written about a lot, but very few people have actually anything of experience to share. Data-driven transformation has been on the lips for people for years now, and people are using the words reinventing companies and disrupting industries, in my mind, too much. But yet we haven't seen a lot of successes. And despite books and slideware in tons, they're very hard to see the successes and also listen to the people who have done the successes or the failures. So I'm so incredibly happy today to present to you one of those successful exceptions that we have. And not only that, we have executives from the 3 companies who's been involved in this thing, and they're all here to share with you what they did, why they did it, how it worked out, what they learned, and so forth.
So what is digital technology as an enabler? Well, for us, digitalization is not about the technology as such. It's to open a door to be more efficient and modern and sustainable. And of course, at the end of the day, all this means that we're going to make more money, because it's definitely the most important thing for us is to be financially sustainable as well. Otherwise, we cannot continue to develop. And by that, of course, again here, a little bit repeating myself here, but when it comes to the environmental footprint, we are making new commitments, and through the digital journey we have done so far, we are definitely taking quite a few steps here in that direction as well. And together with this, we are probably one of the leaders in this development as well. This would not have happened if we would not have developed the digital tools we have done so far. When we started this journey, we started to develop something, and there was a digital platform that is now called Orbit. It called Orbit quite quickly, actually. We had a contest of what we should call this platform. And Orbit, we thought it was a very good word, because of it's going to be a global piece of information, and we will also be able to synchronize all the data in one place, and by that, extract the information we need into different places and different platforms and for different needs. And of course, we are a shipping company. We run ships. We like big ships. We like big pieces of equipment. We don't know anything about the digital development. So there we actually met up with HTEC. And that was, I would say, end of 2015, beginning of 2016. And they made quite an impression on me at that time. And they were very willing and very open to have a very good cooperation, and they were not putting limits on themselves. They were only seeing opportunities with what we told them, and I would say that they are definitely a big part of the success we had so far, and that we are where we are. Then when we then continue to develop this, we realized that it costs quite a lot to develop this ourselves. And by that, of course, we tried to start up to look at alternatives for continue to develop this platform to become something even bigger and greater, and probably something to share as well. What we wanted to do then was to create a new industrial platform, and I know that there are many companies out there, not only in shipping but all in many other industries as well, that of course have a dream to create something that is for everybody. But the next question is to do it, of course. but we thought we were, of course, through the whole journey trying to see if there are other ways of doing what we did, and try to find other platforms and try to find other parts of collaboration and cooperation to develop the platform we had. But we always realized that we were by far actually much further ahead than all the competitors out there. There were some attempts from others actually to talk down on what we have created and said that this was easy peasy and that we then would definitely go together then to develop this. But of course we were smart enough, I would say, to realize that we understood as much as we had a very interesting piece of tool that we should do something more about. And we had to continue to polish the diamond we had, and by that, we realized that we should find a way to capitalize on this, and make sure that we can also develop it with a lot quicker pace. And by that, we did together with Oli and his team create something called OrbitMI. So as we say here in the last sentence, Orbit could already walk and run, but we wanted to fly, and we like to fly it all the way to the stars here when we are getting that far, and I think we will actually.
But when I started to meet with Stena people and understand that they were ahead of their time, but also that they had leadership support and deep curiosity for how to use these new concepts, new science, to be better. And then I saw the product and I realized that they had done some things right. One of the things they did right is to actually work with HTEC, and I'll just say that straight out. So just like that, HTEC is designed to build products. It's not a help desk company. It's not going to come in, and it can if you want to, but they're designed to build sustainable, enduring, productive, products that are globally scalable. What Stena, together with HTEC, did that I was very impressed with, which led me to be, very interested in being part of this journey, was that they asked themselves some important guiding principles, such as A, try not to use hardware. Try to really use these technologies at the edge of their capability, so that when you're implementing it and using it, you don't have to drag the hardware component with it. The other one was that it has to serve many different departments. It can't be just in chartering, just in bunkering, just in energy management, and so on and so on. But these are very important that it cuts across different departments. The guiding principles were also beyond this, that it has to be extendable. What does that mean? That means that if Erik has an idea, or his team members have an idea, or there's a challenge, then they go to Orbit first and say, okay, what data sets we already have? What workflows do we already have? What do we need? What's the gap analysis? And you add the things that you're missing instead of starting from scratch. And in hours and days, you can actually innovate. You can iterate. You can test. You can ask what-if statements. So instead of running around and putting together data and figuring out who's what, you actually get to the actionable stage immediately. And that's called extendability. And I think the last part, which I think is just, I admired probably the most, is that there was a lot of care between Stena and HTEC about user experience. Erik mentioned that, it's very important to bring everybody on board. One more thing that really impressed me, and that was first, what was impressed me was the, insight of building Orbit, right? Why did Stena build Orbit? Because there were either point solutions that they would have to buy, and now they have 6, 7, 8 more applications that they have to connect and development risk, and it take 2, 3, 4 years to do that. Or they have to license some older platform that just doesn't have the innovation cycles required to face 2021, 2022, and so forth. So they were forced to build, in a way, Orbit, right? Now they did it with an open heart and a very vigorous approach. Kudos to them. So I'm very impressed by that insight. But I'm equally impressed by the foresight of knowing that a shipping company is a shipping company. While they can innovate and they will continue to innovate and they have a history and culture and tradition of innovation, in order for a piece of software to survive, it needs to surround itself in a software culture. Orbit today is a global brand. We have clients and prospects and partners around the world. We are leveraging and really benefiting from the initial solid foundation, and we work with HTEC as close as you would think you have your own organization. I don't think Orbit and HTEC together think about themselves as separate teams. I think we think about ourselves as one team, and that's kudos to HTEC, kudos to Stena, but also the way it needs to be, because in order to continue to innovate, we have to have an extreme intimacy on where we are and where we need to go. So it's been a great journey. We just got started and we have a long way to go. But this is a great example of many important concepts: leadership support, innovation versus prioritization, guiding principles, finding the right engineering, and continuing to demand more and more out of that piece of technology that you have. All of this is, I think it should be a book one day, but all of this are great examples.
From the start, we were a little bit of a different company, tackling the most difficult problems with our clients. And this is what kept us so long within their ecosystem, working with them for more than 10 years, and then also working with the clients of our clients from the technology angle. Over the time, we realized with the knowledge that we have and the vast majority of different domains where we basically were working, we realized that we excel in integration of different technologies for the purpose of building a software that serves the companies, the end customers, and actually making more businesses more efficient and, as Ali said, sustainable in a way. We set out to build the products looking from the perspective of the product and the end user who's going to use the product, and not looking from the technology and what technology can do. So what we did with Stena at the beginning is we did two things. One is we needed to win the customer, and I'm going to be open about it. And in order to win the customer, you need to see what the customer needs. And we saw the video. So basically, we saw a very flashy video with holograms, and we actually asked ourselves how we can achieve these holograms, how we can help Erik see his holograms. At the time, actually, first version of HoloLens was out, so we were really thinking and also doing some prototyping inside of HTEC to see if this is achievable, if we can actually do it. Of course, we realized that business value is zero at that point, and even today. So we didn't want to go that route. But definitely what it taught us with working with Stena is that these guys are actually fast forward looking. So they wanted to see what the future is going to look like. Instead of writing a document about how we are going to build the product that they need, we did interactive mock-ups in a matter of 3 weeks, and then showed that to Erik and his team, which were very close to what they imagined in the video. We even took some of the pieces from the video just to show that this is feasible with the technology that we have today. And this is what we can do in a very short period of time. Then we set out to make the MVP. Ali, you don't like that word, but basically what we needed here is for Erik to sell this to his colleagues, to his board, and to make sure that we are on the right track, to get them excited about what this future technology and what this system is going to help them, but also to onboard the people inside of the company to become the champions of the new software solution or that is going to be used in the company. You know, for people that are working in this industry for 30, 40 years, where you still have a phone call away your broker, it was for some of them, very incomprehensive how they are going to change their work routine. So from understanding that we need to provide a means to a vision that Erik and the team had in Stena, we understood that at the end, this is going to affect the people that work in Stena Bulk. So we wanted to make sure that we create a product that fits their needs, to make them more successful, more efficient in their work routines, but also not for the technology to be there for them to lose their jobs, but actually to make them more efficient in the time that they have, to lower the cognitive load of looking into what we realized, 14 different software solutions that were used in Stena Bulk on day-to-day basis. On top of that, Excel spreadsheets and even handwritten notes. So we were amazed with the vast majority of different solutions that were coupled together in a very unproductive way, where we didn't have seamless information flow. So what we did first, let's identify the workflows. Let's speak to the people from different departments. Let's go to the chartering, let's go to demurrage and claims, let's go speak to bunkering, and see what is the day-to-day routine with those people. At that time, we didn't have COVID, so we were free to walk into the office, sit down with the Stena employees, do the workshops, do the ideations, etc. So this was one track. The other very important track in this digitalization, and we have to understand, business has to be run day to day. So we need to make sure that whatever we are doing, we are not jeopardizing the business. So there are no breaking changes. You need to infiltrate new technology and new solutions very slowly. So what we were doing is that by the time that we were developing the product itself on the user interface and user interaction level, we were also developing the model of the technology that is going to support it. So we actually had to play with very innovative things at the moment to make sure that you have a future-proof product right now. This is what we have. Now, .NET Core is mature. It works on AWS, but we can easily switch to Azure if we want. So everything is there. And I think that we did a set of very, very good decisions at the beginning. But if it wasn't for Stena as a phenomenal customer at the moment, actually trusting us based on the things that we did together, to do such moves, we wouldn't be in a position now to actually build this company in a way together with OrbitMI at the moment. So the other very important thing is to, besides technology part, is the domain. So what I like to say right now in the looking at the 5 years back is that you have a team of excellent people that have been working on this product from the beginning, that sit in a country and know about maritime and about the landscape of the maritime software so much, but sit in a country that doesn't have a sea. So we don't have a culture of maritime, but we learned it. We invested a lot of time learning about glossary. I remember our product manager at the beginning created a Confluence page with all of the different terms that are going to be there in maritime. So even today, when you go to the first page of our Confluence, you can see that glossary of terms. First to understand, then to be able to speak to all of the people, then to be able to speak to the customers. And Ali can confirm that today, our team is invaluable for the demos that we are preparing for different customers. And when we heard that Stena wants to basically spin off this company in a separate company, we were both very happy, but both very worried at the time if this is the right move, not in terms of the right move from the business standpoint. That was the right move. That was a bold right move that we supported from the start. But actually to have completely new people coming in, we were a little bit worried to understand if we are going to be able to work together. Hopefully, Ali and his team were phenomenal at this point, and really the cooperation from that point, building the trust between the companies and building the trust between 3 companies right now was the crucial to this. Team, I want to thank everyone personally here for the journey, for the effort, for the curiosity, and for everything that they did to make this cooperation successful and to create something that is going to basically radically change the landscape and the ecosystem of maritime technology.
And I'm so thankful for you to do this. I hope all of you will be very successful. I hope we'll work together with each of you. You are more than welcome to join us at things as members and all of that. And with HTEC and our new fellowship, we have a lot of good things to do together onwards.